Director Don Siegel's initial misgivings about the script were the reservations of a film editor. To withhold the identity of the culprit until the end required screenwriter Peter Milne to cut away from scenes at crucial moments, a form of misdirection that creates a sense of ambiguity and spreads suspicion out among all the characters. To Siegel, it was a type of cheating, a practice common enough among writers, but maybe not film editors, at least not in 1946. In his autobiography, Siegel fondly recalled working with Sidney Greenstreet and Peter Lorre, although he was amazed on a daily basis by how differently they approached their craft. Greenstreet was the consummate professional, trained on the British stage, who knew every line in the script and had all of his pauses and inflections down pat. He could repeat them flawlessly. Lorre, on the other hand, was so cavalier that when he showed up on the set, he wouldn't ask, "What are my lines?" or "What's my motivation?" He'd ask, "What day is it?" or "What country am I in?" But according to Siegel, it only took a few run-throughs for them to make beautiful poetry together. Greenstreet and Lorre were unique in movie history, both individually and as a duo. In the 1940s, they appeared almost exclusively in crime and adventure yarns, many of them noir. They brought not only exoticism and menace to these films, but a witty and worldly bonhomie that was utterly distinctive. It's a shame their collaboration ended with this film, but their legacy will never diminish. Although Don Siegel's directorial debut earned good reviews and was deemed a success by his bosses, he wasn't suddenly offered top-shelf material. His next assignment was a limp melodrama called Night Unto Night. The only upside to it was that Siegel married the leading lady, Swedish-born Vivica Lindfors, who Warner's had just signed to a contract. But then he didn't make another picture until Warner's loaned him to RKO in 1949 to direct The Big Steal, a caper set in Mexico starring Robert Mitchum and Jane Greer. And that's where he first showed the pace and punch that would define his style in the years ahead. Siegel hit his stride in the mid-50s, making such classic genre pictures as Riot in Cell Block 11 and Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Genre pictures were where he was most at home, whether it was a crime picture like The Lineup, a Western like Elvis Presley's Flaming Star, or a war movie like Hell is for Heroes starring Steve McQueen. Along the way, Siegel became a mentor to future directors Clint Eastwood and Sam Peckinpah. He also directed the last films of two American icons, Ronald Reagan in the 1964 version of The Killers, and John Wayne in his 1976 swan song, The Shootist. They both bowed out with Siegel-directed death scenes. For the record, Joan Loring did her own singing in that naughty Give Me a Little Bit number. She just earned a Best Supporting Actress nomination for another Warner Brothers film, 1945's The Corn is Green. Despite that, the studio lost interest in her. Or rather, she lost interest in the studio. Loring chose to work instead with independents like John Garfield's Enterprise Studio and the King brothers at Monogram. After appearing in Joseph Losey's last American film, The Big Night, in 1951, she followed the blacklisted director to Europe. Their affair was short-lived, and when Loring returned to America, the rest of her career was played out on television, save for a part in Burt Lancaster's 1974 thriller, The Midnight Man, which would be her last big-screen appearance. That'll do it for this week. Pay a visit to the Noir Alley Facebook page and Twitter feed. Maybe let us know your favorite locked room mysteries, and then come back next week when I'll be presenting another Warner Brothers noir, Flaxie Martin, starring Virginia Mayo, Zachary Scott, and Dorothy Malone. Till then, see you in the shadows.